This is what permanent blindness looks like. It looks like nothing. It looks fine. And that's the invisible truth that 20,000 booing fans and even the ringside doctor completely missed. When Tom Aspinall, the undisputed heavyweight champion, told the ref he couldn't see, his eye looked okay on camera. So was he lying? Was he looking for a way out of a tough fight? Or was he making a split-second decision to save himself from the one injury that truly haunts every single fighter? October 25th, 2025, UFC 321. This was supposed to be Tom Aspinall's coronation. After his meteoric rise to the undisputed heavyweight title, this was his first real defense. His moment to prove his reign was here to stay. His opponent? The surgical, elusive former interim champ, Ciryl Gane, a man who moves like a middleweight, with pinpoint venomous striking. The stage was set. The new king versus the bon gamin. The world was watching. The first round was exactly what we expected. A high-paced, technical chess match. Aspinall pressed the action, trying to close the distance. Gane circled, managing the range, landing sharp kicks. It was competitive. It was tense. Both men were finding their rhythm, and then, with just 25 seconds left in the round, it happened. This is the exact moment the fight ended. But it's also the moment the real fight, the one between public perception and medical reality, began. During an exchange, Gane's outstretched fingers made contact. This wasn't a graze, this wasn't a flick. Aspinall later described it as a double poke, both eyeballs. His reaction was immediate. He recoiled, his face a mask of pure agony, and instantly turned to referee Jason Herzog. The cage-side physician rushed in. The 5-minute recovery clock started. And this is where the entire controversy ignited. The doctor performed a brief, superficial check and told the ref he had no immediate concern about the globe. To millions of fans watching, that one sentence was a verdict. It meant, he's fine. The eye is okay, but that single phrase is perhaps the most dangerously misunderstood statement in modern MMA. And in a moment, I'll explain why it actually meant nothing. The 5 minutes ticked down. Aspinall, still unable to regain his vision, was forced to tell the ref he couldn't continue. The fight was waved off. A no contest. And the sound that filled the arena wasn't concern. It was a deafening cascade of boos. Aspinall, furious and heartbroken, grabbed the mic. He was rushed to a local hospital, and the online debate exploded. He quit. He was soft. He was losing the round and wanted a way out. And the most common comment of all? Michael Bisping would have continued. This is where the truth of the injury gets separated from the story fans told themselves. First, the doctor's statement. When he said no immediate concern about the globe, he was not saying the eye was fine. He was making one single catastrophic assessment. The eyeball had not ruptured or split open. That's it. That's all a doctor can check for with a flashlight in 60 seconds. What they can't see is the real invisible injury, a corneal abrasion, a scratch on the cornea, the transparent outer layer of the eye. The cornea is one of the most nerve-rich parts of the human body. People who have had it describe the sensation not as a scratch, but as having sandpaper or a knife in their eye with every single blink. Your vision is blurred, it waters uncontrollably, and your eye has an involuntary reflex to slam shut. Now, imagine trying to defend a 250-pound killer while feeling that. Sports physician Dr. Brian Sutterer called the fan narrative absolute, complete nonsense. His point was simple. If a fighter states they cannot see, they are, by definition, unable to intelligently defend themselves. The fight must be stopped. But what about the ghost of Michael Bisping, the man who won the title with one eye? This is the warrior code that fans demanded Aspinall follow, but they're forgetting one crucial fact. Bisping's injury, a detached retina from a head kick, is a cautionary tale, not an instruction manual. He is the miracle exception that proves the devastating rule. And the force from a deep poke, which Aspinall said felt like a finger touched the back of my eyeball, can absolutely cause a retinal detachment. That is career-ending. That is permanent blindness. In that moment, Aspinall wasn't weighing a loss against a no contest. He was weighing his career against his sight. From a hospital in Abu Dhabi, he said it himself. I really respect Bisping, but I wouldn't fight with one eye, no chance. It's a terrifying choice. And it makes me wonder, what was your instant reaction when you saw it live? Let me know in the comments. But this all leaves one dark, lingering question. Why does this keep happening? Why are eye pokes a chronic plague in the UFC but not in other promotions? The answer is a conspiracy theory that might actually be true. The UFC glove. For over 2 decades, fighters and critics have pointed to its core design flaw. It's flat and stiff, forcing a fighter's hand to splay open when they are not actively making a fist. It turns fingers into spears. Promotions like Pride and Bellator use gloves with a prominent curve, guiding the fingers downward and making pokes far less common. The stats don't lie. One 2022 study found the UFC's rate of eye pokes was 1 in every 10 bouts. Bellator's rate? 1 in 44. If you're tired of the mainstream narrative and want more breakdowns that give you the actual story, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button. We do this every week, so why won't the UFC change? The theories are dark. Is it because they don't want to pay licensing fees for a safer, patented design? Is it because changing the glove now would be a legal admission that the old glove was dangerously flawed, opening them up to lawsuits from every fighter who's ever had their career altered by a poke? We don't know. But what we do know is that the current system, a flawed glove and a weak penalty, makes these injuries a statistical certainty. Tom Aspinall didn't quit. He was a victim of a system that forced him to choose between his sight and the boos of a crowd that couldn't see the truth. That's the difference between the cheap, loud narrative and the actual story. If you're tired of the noise and you demand more breakdowns that give you the real, unfiltered truth, there is only one thing to do. Subscribe to this channel.